Um, wait, relax, hand off. Yeah, poverty. First, define poverty. Poverty is basically a lack of opportunity to be successful in society. How many illiterate people do we have in the country? How many uninformed adults do we have in the country? And how many uninformed teenagers do we have in the country? Let's look at the teenage pregnancy. Look at those charts. You will notice there is a lack of family planning. What happens in China is they implement um, family planning along with tradition and culture to the extent that people always take care and think before they have a second child. But we have people that are living um, in poverty who are having babies. This means there is a lack of information distribution, and as long as that is not tackled, as long as the taboo surrounding condoms and all sorts of pregnancy prevention methods is not um, put front and center, because it's a taboo, because tradition and culture, then expect poverty to breed poverty. Now, what is necessary is to bridge a gap between the haves and the have-nots. And this gap was created, of course, by the segregation period, by the former regime. They had Bantu education. What did this do to the people that were in the villages in the first place, who were illiterate in the first place? What did this do to them? They didn't understand the importance of education. And some of these people are our leaders today, our leaders. And UNAM, being partly a government institution, asking for an increase in fees, it just exemplifies how lost the country is when it comes to this march to prosperity, where no one is actually serious about it because they don't see the conditions. People talk about going back to the village. Why should people talk about going back to the village? It means going back to that place where there are no lights, where there are huts, and where you have to go fetch water. What does that imply? It implies there is no development. What does no development breed? It breeds poverty. Because now you have people migrating from the villages looking for prosperity in the towns. And when they get to the towns, what do they become? They become cleaners. They become garden boys, basically. I know garden boy is a term used to sort of undermine black men in the past when they were called the garden boys. But in order for us to actually be serious about poverty, the rubbish has to be eradicated. And some of the rubbish is people that are actually living good lives, people that are actually privileged, undermining what is happening to other people. Imagine children that are dying from malnutrition. Now, can you process this without becoming emotional? Because if you become emotional, you've already cancelled out the possibility that you could have had to actually formulate a solution. It's almost like a grieving person that's asked to make a drastic intervention while they are in that state. It's like telling a depressed person to get over it. It's not, it's just not the way things are achieved. There has to be pragmatism, and that starts from the top and the bottom, always. If you want to bridge the gap, you have to actually build a bridge. And what does this bridge have to what can carry this, what's the substance that will make this bridge? Well, it's easy. When the people in the so-called communal areas start farming on their land, and I'm talking about farming not just to feed their own families, but farming to sell, right? If they sort of commercialize that opportunity, and if they actually stop this cronyism of respecting tradition to breach and impeach on our constitution by them allocating land where the people are to someone else, meaning they have the authority of regional councils, which is an I don't want to get technical. Anyway, main point, fancy talk won't fix the solution. Won't fix the problem. What we need is to address poverty head on. Poverty is kids dying from malnutrition. Poverty is teenage pregnancy where the child has no means to take care of the baby and there are no people to assist the child. Poverty is when a child has a relationship with a teacher who ends up killing the child and their family member. The child has no choice because the parents are unable to protect the child, and the child has no choice but to go out there and try to achieve it herself and ends up dead. That's poverty. Poverty is not technical. Poverty is universal. We have to find out what has caused poverty. Why wasn't poverty here before? That means we have to start changing our routines. The way people farm, what they actually put in their farms, how they take care of their cattle. Simple things to first bring hope, a sense of accomplishment. Because people are there drinking. It doesn't matter what day or what time of day. And it's like $2 per cup. And all they do is drink. And they are proud to say, I can drink as much as I want. Tomorrow morning I'll wake up very early and I can still go in the field and walk. But what is that walk bringing forward? At the moment, nothing, because seasons have changed. The way we used to farm, the traditional methods, they have been changed. Global warming is a real threat, and it's happening here too. So how do we address it? We have the weather bill. They should also get involved. They should also reach out. These are practical interventions, realistic interventions, not just fancy talk and political rhetoric that will earn someone a position or that will earn some political points or that will earn someone a lot of likes or a lot of favorites on Twitter. Just unsubstantial nonsense. That won't fix anything. And this is my last message for the day about this. Salute.